Hey everybody, guess what I have today on the show? I'm so excited. I finally get to have DeeJae on the show today because I had to reschedule her because I took a little break. But we all take a little break, don't we, DeeJae?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do.
Yeah,
yes,
we're going to talk about that today, aren't we?
Yeah. Sure are.
Yeah. Sorry?
Holiday break time.
It is holiday break time. So I think everybody knows DeeJae, but I just want to introduce her again. She's a Disability Navigator. That's kind of why we met, right? Yeah, she's a mental health mentor. She was in the Air Force. She's an Air Force veteran, and she's a Mayhem LiveStreamer. And we're going to talk about that today. She supports breaking stigmas, encouraging accessibility. We're going to talk about that today. That's a big one for me. Diversification and inclusion in communities, which is very important. We can talk about that too. So I just am so happy to have her on the show because she understands mental health, disabilities, traumas, breaking through stigmas, like all of that. That is so important in our industry, all industries actually. The industry that I just came from, that's extremely important also. So actually, it doesn't matter which industry it is. It's very important. So let's all accept each other, right? And bring awareness to all of this today. So we're going to discuss invisible disabilities because you guys only see me from here up, right? You guys don't see me from here down. Yep. And we're going to discuss that in our mayhem during the holidays, which last year I was talking about this before I was involved with LinkedIn really like I am now. And we were talking about anxiety and depression. Yep. And yes. I'm so glad we're going to talk about this today. PTSD, I had quite a few veterans on last year. So I'd like to introduce DeeJae or have DeeJae like take it away and just start and discuss this with us, please.
All right. Thank you, Jenny. I'm so excited to be here. And yes, it's been quite a number of months and we can break, summer break, fall break, holiday break, all kinds of breaks. But that's okay. It's needed. Our body needs rest. And never know what somebody else is going through. So, but we're here today. So I'm thankful for you. Thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome.
I love talking about all this stuff. As you know, I've been having my show now for almost about a year. Be celebrating in January. So January. And you were one of my guests. And so I really do want to say thank you to you, especially because you were a guest and you were there for me when I was nervous and just getting started. Didn't know what to say. I felt like I was fumbling over my words constantly. But we both had this like connection of representing disabilities, talking about it. And that's really what brought us together and has kept us connected. And we've had so many friends that we've made along the way. So it's just been really nice, the power of connection and being able to talk about these things and how it really brings people together in different ways and in deeper connecting ways. And it really pushes us forward. We don't really realize that those connections on those levels that are just so supportive and genuine can really help us professionally, can really keep us motivated in those kinds of ways too. They really manifest into so many bigger and more lively things with our community.
It's really interesting because I've been in LinkedIn probably since it started. I'm not kidding. Like from the very beginning of LinkedIn, I've been on this because of the companies I was involved with. And and I was kind of expected to be on LinkedIn, but I never used it for this. Like never. I never thought I'd be using it for this type of podcast, right? I never thought it'd even be live. But DeeJae was saying, she said, yes, you will.
Right. Well, you can do it. You can totally do it. I think anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. So getting the right tools, getting the right support really does make a difference. And encouragement, that's important. So
and DeeJae, you were also in Tim's class. Not to interrupt you, but you were in Tim's class. And when he asked me to be in his class, I was like, okay, well, DeeJae was in that. I was like, okay, I'll try it. And here I am, right?
Here you are. And look at what you're doing, really bringing awareness to topics that you really stand for, that really are important to you. And you're really setting an example and being a leader. So anybody can be a real leader. I don't like those stigmas. See, breaking those stigmas. You're still going through what you're going through, but you're still out here with your message. So But
Absolutely.
let's talk a little bit about more mayhem that we have, because I know it can be, whew. And I see we have a nice chat.
But you know what? We do not have mayhem right now in the chat because we have some really great people that we could probably call in if you'd like to. And look who's here. Number one, Kenny D is here. That's a big deal. But also, I mean, Gertrude's here. Lucic is here. Mackenzie is here. Yeah, lots of fun people are here.
I see lots of wonderful people. And it's just really nice to have a community that supports these conversations.
Yes.
And wants to also represent. And we can always learn more. We can always just, hopefully take away one more thing that we can do to be more inclusive and more accessible in our content, in our work, in our messages. So, but holidays are coming. Oh my goodness.
Let's talk about the holidays.
I am looking forward to the holidays. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to keep it light, folks, here. We're talking holiday talk because I
am not going to cry. Number one, I have no bacon here. So I'm not going to cry. Because if there's no bacon, Kenny D, am I going to cry? He's like, no.
We're talking about food.
It's all about the bacon.
So speaking of bacon, because I put them notes. Okay, so in my notes, I want to go over, we wanted to talk about my tips. Jenny liked the tips I put on my content. And I know we're not going to be on very long, and time goes by fast, friends. It does. We get chit-chatting, and I really do want to cover a couple of those things that I had made note of, because it really is important when we're sending our invitations. Just add a little kind accommodations are, welcomed. If you need an accommodation, just a little something that really allows people to feel more comfortable to ask or request something. Jenny, I don't know about you. Do you find it intimidating when you're invited to go somewhere, but you feel like there might be an accommodation you may need? And Jenny, you said you were going to cry.
No.
Oh, honey. Tears.
I know. But it's true.
Yeah, right? It is. It's important to put that out there. Make it easier.
Yeah, we're not going to go to a house because I can't get in there. It's too scary for me. So that's why I'm not going to go.
Wow. And that causes more isolation. That causes more feelings of low self-worth. So, and that's why we're here, to really advocate for this, to just really be more considerate and kind.
Right.
And that was
just dropped off some people because I cried. Sorry. No. I'm like, sorry, but it was going to happen. I mean, especially when you started bringing that up, because it's very scary for people. If you don't know exactly where you're going, which I knew where I was going to go. And when I was invited at the last minute, I said, her stairs are like this steep to get into her house. And I'm like, I can't do that. I physically can't do that. I did that 2 years ago and I was scared to death. So they're huge stone stairs. So why would I put myself through that? Because the anxiety is what I wanted to talk about. Anxiety from this, you get into the house and you're like, what kind of a Thanksgiving is that going to be? Because you get in there and your anxiety is like this, and you have dinner and it's great. And then you have to get out of the house. You're like, oh my God. Like, you think you're just going to lose it. And you're like, it wasn't a fun, it turns out not to be a great experience because of that. Right. And I've gone to events in the industry that I'm in where I couldn't get up an entire flight of stairs. And people are like, oh, Jenny, when you get there, we'll carry you up. You know, if you have to carry somebody upstairs, it's not handicap accessible. So how do you think that makes us feel? How does that make someone feel? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Right. And all of a sudden you're like, well, that doesn't really work, because it's not, they're not thinking about the other people. It's not that people don't want to, they're not respecting you. It's not that maybe they couldn't get a place that had that, or they didn't
have had the consideration, the thought too.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that's important to have that. If you have a home that, has different uneven pavements, steps, be considerate of that. Maybe include it in the invitation, or know who you're inviting,
right?
In a sense, but still trying to just put the verbiage out there that and they can direct message you if there's any questions about the location.
And I've had people call me to tell me, you know what, this place you cannot get in. I'm really sorry, but I just got here and there's no way you can get in. And you're just like, okay, I'm not going to go then.
I can't imagine like the feeling of that when you arrive and you spend the time, right? And you, like you said, you shared that anxiety.
Not just some of your best clothes, right? Did your
right.
hair, did your hair and your makeup, right? And you're like, great. I know. Is that?
So many nerves, so many questions, so many things that are bubbling inside us. So I definitely have anxiety, but I know it's hard to say anxiety for everyone. So when our nerves, when those thoughts are in our heads, then and we don't have those answers. It's difficult, and we kind of just back out and say, forget it. It's better just not to deal with it at all. And again, the isolation and around the holidays, that's just not the worst. So
right now, you guys, I don't know if you know this. I didn't tell you, DeeJae, but we just went into mask. Like, we're totally have to be masked in Denver County, 3 or 4 other counties outside of Denver. And that just went down this morning. And Denver was just announced before we went on the show. So, I mean, you have to wear them inside and outside. Right?
Safety. Yeah. Well.
So, I mean, I'm just saying that's a whole community. Mackenzie, I don't even know Mackenzie, but Mackenzie just said that to cheer us out. Well, thanks, Mackenzie.
Well, you were crying, I know. And so a little late. We had Jenny crying.
I know, right?
Oh. We haven't even gotten started. 10 minutes in, and we had Jenny in tears. But
it's my show. I had tears. Sorry.
Hi, Russ.
I know.
Thanks for popping by. Thank you, Kenneth, Lucic, Mackenzie, of course, Gertrude. It's really nice to have our community here for conversations. We're not going to be here too long, I know, tonight.
Yeah.
But we wanted to spend some time together, me and Jenny, and hopefully we'll have more time, more talks, because we talk a lot. I tell you all the time, you're one of the people that I talk to like the most. You don't believe me, but it's true.
Everybody thinks I'm the big talker, but you guys don't really know. we got it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were talking about the venue and the location, and physical access. I didn't mention virtual access, but we should consider virtual access in virtual spaces as well. The captionings, the order. I mean, just being considerate of those integrations, who you're inviting, being prepared, giving it thought and consideration ahead of time, knowing how to use the software. I always say that when we're talking about digital accessibility. Right. Knowing what you're using so you can be as inclusive as possible. And
it's very interesting because your Toastmasters has it been virtual? Because I know here has been virtual here. So it just depends on hybrid. Yeah, it depends on the type of state you're in and what the lockdowns are and things like that. So there are things going on around the country that are different, even where your families might be. And I'm not saying your family, DeeJae, but in general, everybody's like in Michigan. They're in lockdown in my mom's facility all the time. So you never know. I'm like, oh, we don't have mask requirements right now. She's like, well, I do. So it's just different all around the country, all around the world.
Very true. And it's still just going on. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's slowed down very much. So still got to be extremely cautious.
Yes.
Thanks. 1,000 thanks to you, Russ. Russ is really leading that, and I love that. Bringing it all over. 1,000 thanks. So
our next one, number 3 was
considering fragrances, like smells or diets, foods, what you're cooking, how you're cooking, what you're cooking with. Making sure you know what you're cooking with, so you can share that.
Make sure you know how long the turkey really should be in the oven, not overcook it. We did that last year.
Whatever they're making, but have a vegetarian dish. I know your friends are coming over, who you're inviting. Again, consideration really is key. If not, ask. But really talking about the fragrances, the smells, and the diets, and just understanding that not everybody can eat everything. Right. I have food sensitivities, and I like to know if I'm going to go somewhere, and when we go somewhere, and then we have to be careful about what we eat. And hopefully, I really do like the labels, when they put labels and then they tell you this option or that option. It really is a thoughtful, kind gesture.
It's really nice when people do that, actually, because like you said, is it vegetarian? Will they not eat meat? Will they only eat chicken, which is kind of odd, but chicken or fish only? I mean, you can't be that picky, but in some sense, in some instances,
I'm religious.
it's kind of like if you can't have gluten, then you can't have gluten. So just maybe you have to bring your own food. I don't know. I've had that before.
Thank you, Lucy. Yes, on scents, candleless.
Yeah.
Candleless space is the best space. Look at that. Very, very, perfumes. Oof. Perfumes. My goodness. Some individuals can really pack on the scents for the holidays.
I eat my mom. And you're just like,
or you know, when you're in a public space or you're in the grocery store and it's just like, wow, really powerful. Or children.
The other day, you're like, I'm in the hospital. Not the hospital myself, but
sensitivities in general.
A doctor, and you're like, wow, that was the strongest cologne I think I've ever had a doctor wear before in the elevator, right?
And I think that's important, you know, in just basic communications, we're talking about accommodations and also including that in invitations, just being open to those conversations.
And the thing is, the candles, by the way, you know, they have the electric candles and they look real. They look totally real. So you can just have electric candles and you have no idea a lot of the times that they're electric and they're not real. It looks nice if you want and need.
Oh, Sydney, great point. Traumas during the holidays. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I've had this conversation in private more so lately, but it's important to know about when we do talk about traumas on potatoes.
You only have like one thing you can't
I eat a lot more potatoes. But traumas are so, for me, overwhelming. We're going to talk about overwhelming for me.
Yes.
A lot of us have lost family members, have lost loved ones, have lost friends this year, last year. The holidays are going to be rough. Finances, loss of jobs, economic, flashing lights are such a big deal. Yes, that's another one. We're going to talk about sensory overload.
Yes, we are going to talk about that.
Yeah. Because we're definitely going to talk about the lights, the twinkles, the sounds, the things going on in this room and that room. So definitely. But this ties with trauma because
it does.
All those things can trigger our trauma. So it's really just, I guess, knowing where you're going,
right?
Knowing who you're inviting, if you're hosting, and just being considerate and just making notes for yourself of those preparations. As you're preparing, I talk a lot about preparing because, you know, I try to, it helps me.
You're like 2 minutes before the show, I was like, you're still preparing? And I was like, good, because I am too.
It's prepared.
Yes, that brings up another point because you're prepared properly because of your son. I mean, your son's fine, but I'm just saying in general, you have kids and you guys might have friends that have kids that are coming over.
I mean, for my son's okay. He deals well. He's still very, you know, he has his issues where he is more introverted and he doesn't do well with a lot of high energy places. My daughter has her own issues and she's 19, 20. She still lives with me and I still take care of her. So, you know, all those things are important to me and I like to know what we're doing, where we're going. I think as a parent in the holidays, I want to prepare the best I can.
Right.
For myself, for my children, for my sanity, my mental health.
Don't be wrapping all those gifts like the night before. You're like, we're talking about holidays now, but
well, that's part of it, you know. But, you know, it's just so much like the crinkling of the wrapping paper.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. So it's just going to bring up the thing with special needs kids because
we haven't even talked about pets.
We'll get to the pets in a second. So special needs kids, if they're going to be at your Thanksgiving, like you're going to have a lot of families there, please be respectful of the kids and the families because they can't handle those kids. So if they're autistic and stuff, they cannot even handle this. Now, it's not that you can't make noises, but they're going to hear the clinking of the silverware and everything on the plates. I mean, everybody's going to do that. But if those kids freak out all of a sudden, just know what, like, just understand that that's part of their world right there. And they could actually be adults too that are like that, right?
Well, yeah, and I made the point about making sure that we at least have a safe space or a
Yes.
quiet zone
Yeah.
that you have if you're hosting or you find for yourself. Listen, how many times have I been to a party and I have to go outside? I need to go outside.
Yeah. You're like, I don't like what's going on in there.
I'm like, oh my God, it's too much. Whatever it is, it may be too much, right? It could be the chatter, the conversation, the music, the smells, if they're smoking, if I don't know, if they're cooking, whatever it may be. It could just be anything. It depends the crowd. It depends where you're going, but
right.
Really is. But that sensory overload is huge. The sense of obligation. Oh goodness,
Mm-hmm.
The sense of obligation to attend functions, act a certain way, present a certain way.
Yeah.
The comments, the remarks that will come from individuals that may not be as aware or may not have the same kind of language or understanding of
Exactly.
others.
Exactly.
Yes. So I think that's a really great point, that sense of obligation, because that weighs on me too, believe me. And I'm not, we've had that conversation. That's a tough one.
Yeah. It is tough. It's tough. And it's
yeah, making sure.
I'm kind of bummed that I'm not going to a whole bunch of holiday parties already, because I know I probably won't be going because I don't feel comfortable right now. But we're going to get back to Liz in a minute. But I will. We're coming back to you, Elizabeth. Hang on. But honestly, it's just I don't feel comfortable right now. And if people don't feel comfortable because of what's going on right now in the world, don't belittle them. Don't make them feel bad that they can't come and spend time with you. You know what? Do this. Go on a Zoom or go on StreamYard and just hang out with them. It doesn't have to be, going out to the world or anything. But have the dinner party. Have Rob's wine party, or whatever. Like, do something like that. Just because you can't be around people in person, we're getting used to not being there in person, except for you because you're at work. But I mean, if you can go to work and be around people, it's great. But if you can't, just don't let people cut you down or make you feel like or belittle them. Don't belittle them, I guess is a word.
Yeah, I think that goes back to kindness that me and Elizabeth talked about during the holidays.
Yeah.
Just being a little bit more graceful or maybe a little bit more considerate in what you're saying and how you're saying it, because you don't know what people are going through or what they're holding in. We all hold in. The majority of us hold stuff in. A lot in. We have to act strong. We have to act like, so, we have to pretend like we're okay. We hear that a lot, right? Neurodivergent folks need a break often. Yes, Lucic. During family gatherings, they usually disappear and nap for a bit in a dark room to energize. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people go out to their car where they can, it's their own comfort space. It's your vehicle if you have the vehicle. I can only imagine if you are, and it happens when we get to a situation because you ride with somebody or you're with somebody.
Yeah.
And you're stuck for an extended amount of time. And then it's uncomfortable. You start to kind of feel your body getting tense. And it's just so many things to consider.
Yeah. And you guys, we don't mean to bring you down. You're probably going, oh, this is a really nice podcast. It's not that at all. It's just that we want people to realize kind of what's going on. I think most of the people right now, they're here for a reason. They're here because they understand. But it's more for people just to understand that just kind of let people have their own thing right now and have their feelings and whatever, because you don't know if you're going to go to a party and all of a sudden people start bawling or whatever. You just don't know these days what's going on behind the closed doors, I call it. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I think space. Another great point, a great valid. This is good. We're at 25 minutes already. Give space is a good one. And I'm going to interpret this as this. I guess I'll give my interpretation. I feel like in the holidays, we have a tendency to feel like we have to conversate and make conversation, right? So then when we're making conversation, we have a tendency to say things that we're kind of ingrained in our brains to say. Things that can be very offensive because because you're just taught, oh, that's small talk. So at least be considerate of what you're talking about and try not to talk about personal things. Don't feel obligated, right? Obligation to talk and conversate, keep it light, but also give space, allow for quiet moments, allow for nonverbal interaction, nonverbal communication. Pay attentive to that because it's not all just talking and chatter. So I think forgiving space is such an important one, just to kind of allow that other people are going to be at heightened emotions, in a heightened state of alertness.
Right. It's true.
For so many different reasons.
Right now, I mean, I keep bringing up in Colorado, we're not having these big events. We're not like some people are, but we're not like really, a lot of us aren't going. But when you do go to one, we even go to the bar, or not even a bar. Like I've been to a lot of bars in the last year. Not, right? Even a restaurant though, it's so loud. All of a sudden it's so loud and you get out there, you're just overwhelmed with the noise. And the thing is, some of these Christmas parties or Thanksgiving events, they're going to be, or Hanukkah events, whatever, they're going to be packed with people, and you're going to leave there and go, oh.
Yeah. And it's a party, right? So
yeah.
It's supposed to be high energy.
Right,
and it's
exactly.
supposed to be. So
we're not used to that now.
Yeah, there's got to be a give and take.
Maybe you guys are. I think you are in Florida. I think you guys are there. But
I think at least, I think there is a general understanding that.
Right. I just think it's more
things
difficult.
are changing.
Yeah.
But
they are.
Then
yeah.
It'll be more helpful for everyone to understand.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's like it was. And I was at events with like anywhere from 10 people to 1,200 people all the time. And so now I'm like, if I did, I don't even know if I would ever do that again, go to a 1,200 person event, because I don't know if I feel comfortable in that right now, at least not right now. So, but a lot of you probably do, which is great. I'm glad. And I want people to actually have some time for that. Well, it looks like Elizabeth and Mackenzie. Elizabeth,
it's nice to see everyone chatting. It's nice to have familiar, supportive individuals in the chat that are just inclusive, and they're making their content more accessible. They're making I think we're all like learning as we could. I think it's becoming cool. All right. It's becoming cool. I'm just going to say it like that. It's becoming cool.
I know. I mean, come on. Everybody needs to have podcasts so they can talk to each other, right?
Yeah.
That's all we want to do.
You can just sit and live stream, and you can just share the conversation with others.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yes.
Do we have another point?
Well, those were, I think, most of the 4, which was perfect timing. And then we had some extra ones that were brought in about giving space, the sense of obligation. Flashing lights was a really big one. Visually impaired, folks now with all the, again, are hearing, those of us that have like hearing issues, or mobility issues, or cognitive issues. Even just slowing down our speech a little bit, just practicing to slow down our speech can be a huge thing for so many. Everything comes at us at such a fast rate.
It does.
And sometimes if we slow the conversation down on purpose, like, oh, okay.
You're like, are you thinking of something? You're like, yes, I am. So, I mean, it's not kind of nice though, isn't it? To kind of just slow down. And when you think that we're always slowing down because we're kind of not in huge events right now, but at the same time,
I feel we have a sense of, goes back to that.
If someone to speak really fast, because you haven't seen these people in a while, right?
Right. Then we're on a time limit. There's things we have to cover. We want to talk about as much as we can, as short. It is overwhelming. And so even for us, setting that example, how do we slow it down, take our own breaks, take our own, like set a pace that's healthy for ourselves, and don't let anybody cross your boundaries.
Yes, boundaries are a big deal right now. I was definitely
honor others' boundaries. Have your own boundaries.
Right. Now, see, we just had a little bit of a therapy session from DeeJae. Right? No, I'm just kidding.
This chit chat. This is just a fun little chit chat live stream, right?
No, it is a very fun chit chat
experience.
I know, like, this is awesome. It's like free therapy. I'm just kidding.
Oh goodness.
That's good though. Well, you're the one that's a professional here.
But I'm not a clinician. I'm not a therapist. Now I'm going to have to see a disclaimer. Now I have to do a disclaimer. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor.
I have to be careful what I say because of the FDA and the EPA. I'm like, oh. So, I mean, so you just have to say that too.
But I'm glad you felt as such. I mean, I always thought that I told Mackenzie this once, that I would have like a podcast or a show called The Therapy Room. I know you want to sneak in. It's a secret. It's a therapy room where we would just like kind of sit on the floor and just have like a little therapy chit chat. But I didn't want it to be like so mental healthy. But even though like, I just think it would be nice to have kind of like those little puffy pillows that we sit on the floor, like, well, if you can be on the floor, those can need a chair are more than welcome to have a chair. We're here accessible to all. If you need to come laying down, whatever.
Like a meditation group or something. I wanted
to call it the therapy room just to chit chat and hopefully feel better, like we let it out, right? Like that's what a therapy session feels like. We just like dumped it all. So, but that was just.
She said suddenly she's inspired to host a silent dinner party.
Oh, that sounds fun. Mm-hmm. Don't we love inspiration? I'd love that.
When you're like this, you're like
water.
No, like how would you tell people more water? You're like, or wine or something. You're just like, yes, water.
I like your glass. Give me 1 second. My son's in the room.
Oh, he can come in. You can come in. I know he doesn't like to go live though.
Yeah. Well, no, he doesn't. And then he might say something inappropriate, as some 6-year-olds like to make inappropriate jokes.
It's okay. Hey, I don't mind. I have something called the podcast not podcast, so it's the not podcast side. They can just, go off. But I might get kicked off LinkedIn Live, but that's okay.
We're not going to do that to you.
No, I like to include the children.
I do. Yeah, I love my son. He's so much fun. So we have a blast. Holidays are going to be great. And they've been here all week. He's been home all week. So for the holidays. So I've been having lots of fun playing video games. I'm a gamer. I like to play video games. So, all right.
Well, look at that.
How are we doing?
So Elizabeth just said, I like how DeeJae has a way of informing without realizing she is. Both of you are dropping gems. Thank you, Liz.
Oh, Liz.
I'm like, Elizabeth, Liz. Right? That's very nice, Elizabeth. I completely agree. And that's why DeeJae and she kind of drops gems to me all the time. On the phone, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, working and talking.
That's pretty much what I'm doing, working and talking usually.
Yeah. That's usually what I'm doing too. I'm like, I'm just not sure what to write here. Yeah. She gives great advice. But thank you. Thank you for being on today.
Thank you for the space. Thanks for the convo.
Thank you for your space, for letting yourself come on here. You never know on the podcast and on podcast what's going to happen. Right? The cheers came out like 3 minutes in. I'm sorry. All of a sudden I was like, I can't go to that Thanksgiving party, but it's going to be fine. So I'm having my own little
party. I didn't realize that when I would like turn around that question like that, it would just like,
it's okay. I was like, okay, I'm fine. That's
I'm gonna cry.
You know that I'm always like, okay, I'm fine now. Mackenzie just says that she can confirm that you work and talk at the same time.
A lot. Constantly working, constantly talking. But it's progress. It's movement. It's all good things for all good purpose, good mission.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we've got one more here. As it was just said here.
Yes.
I learned something I didn't know during my show. Visual descriptions that notice. I can't even see that it's so small. I'm like, can you read that?
Learned something I didn't know during my show, visual descriptors. Then I noticed it when I watched Mackenzie. I love learning what I don't know, and neurodivergency. So, yeah. We didn't give our own visual descriptors. I didn't give one. I give one my show now. So.
What's that? I don't even know what that is.
It's just okay, look at that. We're just.
Well, the thing is, you guys, I was off for 3 months, and I'm like, now there are new things. Now there's new terms I didn't know.
Well, it's something that I've just implemented into my show, and just to be more inclusive for audio listeners. So as an audio listener that wouldn't be able to visually see the show or catch it, and if you're going to make it a podcast audio format, you always have that visual descriptor. So I'm DeeJae. I'm a Latina brunette with silver hair. I've got brown eyes. I'm wearing, I guess, like pink lipstick and like, I don't know, an orange shirt with some lace epaulets. So that's a visual
3 times, but that's okay.
Yeah, but it really helps someone that's just listening through audio have a visual description of who they're listening to, and they can create that visual in their mind. So as they're listening to the whole stream, they're listening to the whole podcast, at least they have a more clear vision because you've provided one to them, and that really enhances their experience.
You usually do that at the beginning of your podcast?
I do, yeah. We just didn't cover it here, but yeah. So visual descriptors are great. And again, once you say it, you keep saying it because it's your own visual descriptor. It doesn't change, right? I'm Jenny. I have blonde hair. I wear glasses. Are your eyes blue or green?
Blue.
Blue.
My glasses, I thought I had the blue tin things on there, but I don't know. But they look kind of like.
And today you're wearing a turtleneck? Black turtleneck?
Black turtleneck. Exactly.
That's your descriptor.
And my lipstick.
You're wearing the lipstick tonight. She did that for me. Isn't that sweet?
I was like, I have to wear lipstick. She always wears lipstick. I mean, come on. Right? So it's funny. See, being inclusive. And now I noticed on TikTok, people are talking about neurodivergence, and I'm excited to learn more. That's wonderful. Actually. Yeah. Yay. Well, look who's here.
Melly's gonna be on my show on Monday, so we'll definitely be talking about neurodivergency.
Nice. I have to watch it on Monday for sure. And look, we just stopped it at the last minute.
The OG.
We were waiting for you.
We were not going to stop this stream until you got here.
Yeah, Gabe, because it's not like we don't have anything to talk about. It's DeeJae and myself are like, no. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, or 1 year, all of you, because you were on his show 1 year ago, and then I was on his show not too far after, and we're just going to be celebrating 1 year.
No, I was on his show in, was it January? I think it was January.
January last year.
It's January or February. No, I didn't know any of you guys then.
Sorry.
Nope. I know. And I was on your show. What was it, Women's Month or something? I think it was.
You
had me on your show then.
Had to hop on. That's all right. Thanks, Gabe.
I know, right?
It's fine though, but it's just exciting as I start to think about it, and once we get through these holidays, and celebrating. So,
yeah, it's very exciting. Actually, the second show I was on was Gabe's show. Right.
Great job. Great job this year, Jenny. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for Gabe. 1,000 thanks. Hashtag 1,000 thanks, everyone.
1,000 thanks.
1,000 thanks. And kindness. Incorporate kindness.
Kindness is cool and smiles are free.
Yeah, so many. We've all got.
This is actually on another show right now, or he would be here. He'd be here.
I miss you, Russ. That's all for you. That was yours.
I know. We saw your tagline, but that's okay. You say, "Okay, Jenny, that's okay." Excellent. I'll give it back to you.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, you guys, I'm so happy that you came on tonight. Oh, here we go.
Love.
Oh,
love. I know what's going on over there. I'm not over there all the time, but I know what's going on over there.
I know, right? Yes, she's practicing for later. But yeah.
Well, Tim's going to be on my show in January, so I'm sure I'll catch
great.
her, hopefully coming to support Tim.
Elena's in my class, actually. We were practicing together. Oh, thanks, Gabe.
Thank you.
And Gabe, thank you so much for your calendar. Oh, he says he's proud of both of us. That's like a big thumbs up. Right? Yeah. Except I know you guys have known each other for quite a while, which is great.
Not that long, just about a year, I'm saying. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a huge supporter of you.
Definitely the one that got me going. Just all thanks.
Yeah.
1,000 thanks he gave.
Yeah. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I hope that you have a great Thanksgiving, DeeJae. And everyone, everybody on here pretty much knows DeeJae, but if they'd like to get in touch with her, she is very active on LinkedIn. And all of her information is down there. Look, I see. Gabe, can you please teach me the whole doing it the right way? I'm going to point at you.
Oh, you trying to put the ticker on or something?
What'd you say?
What are you trying to put on?
No, I'm saying that down there, that's where I have all the information.
Oh, in the description or something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't have the ticker on right now. I'm like,
no worries.
You know what? Just don't use the ticker quite yet. I've used it a couple of times. I'm like, forget
we're
it.
amongst family and friends, so we're fine. Everyone have a great holiday.
Give thanks to each other. But yes, everybody have a great holiday. And DeeJae, I love you. Thank you for being on my show. Finally, I had you on my show.
Long time coming. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, you guys have fun this weekend. Oh, nope, we got another one. We got another LinkedIn loser. We have a LinkedIn user. I said loser. Sorry. I don't know who that is.
We'll say thank you. We'll give you a shout. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
User. You're not a loser. I swear you're not a loser. Oh.
Jenny.
I'm like, I didn't mean to say that, loser. I mean,
we're trying to close the show. We're showing up.
We're like, all right, Russ is going to end with a happy Thanksgiving, right?
Bye. Yeah.
No, this is going to end it. No, Ingor is going to end it.
I love it. This is it.
Come on at the end. I'm like,
oh, it's Amanda. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Hi, Amanda. Yay.
Amanda, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to call you a LinkedIn loser. That's not it.
She did not mean that. Slip of the tongue.
I know. It's my speech impediment right now. Honestly, a little bit. Right? Just a little bit.
It's fine. It's been a long day. You had a show. You had therapy. Your physical therapy.
I had physical therapy. I had a show already. Right, Gabe?
So good.
Yeah.
But thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you.
Right. We're going to do overall happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Have a great holiday. And we will see you very soon. How's that? Love you guys. Bye.
Night.
Bye. In the broadcast now.